Hey guys, what's good? So I've been having trouble setting up OBS to film this video, and I got to the settings where I can at least make this video, but I'm gonna have to ask for some advice. I've been YouTubing stuff and trying to find tutorials, but I haven't got the answer that I needed, so I'm definitely gonna need some help. So if anyone can help me out, just let me know. And the other thing is, I don't like my MacBook. Within 5 to 10 minutes of this recording, my MacBook turns into a jet engine, but right now it does sound like a jet engine, and pretty much just gonna lag this whole video and just ruin the whole thing for me. So on Monday, I released this video called On the Block. This was an editorial set up by Vince, and this was shots and filmed back in April. It was a fun shoot, and I enjoyed doing this a lot. It took me out of hiatus. So if you've seen my other previous video about the Mazda shoot, I did explain how I haven't shot for months, and back in April I started doing stuff, whether it's BTS or being a second photographer or filmmaker, and pretty much that's what I did out there back in April, and I had fun, and it just brought me back to life. And I think, this is something that I want to do moving forward always, and that's who I am, and I just want to keep doing this stuff. I gotta thank Vince for inviting me and putting me as a second photographer, filmmaker for this shoot. So on the block, how I film things. So I'm not gonna try to go crazy with the breakdown here. I'm not gonna go into color grading. I'm not gonna go into I think color grading mostly. I don't want to go into details for that. That's like just not my thing. Especially for this video, because I know whatever I'm recording it's not gonna go through, but so I'm just gonna try to go through this really fast and share this with you guys. So video process, how I got into this. Briefly, I'm gonna share how I got into this stuff briefly. So if you guys see my work on this channel, I've done fashion films. Back in 2018 I got invited to do a fashion video, and from there it just made me fall in love in doing motion video for all the shoots that I take part of. And I pretty much got invited to all these editorial shoots, and I had fun just piecing a fashion film together. Nowadays people call it, well, the internet or YouTube, Instagram calls it video portraits or cinematic portraits or portrait film or whatever they want to call it. It's a fashion video for me, fashion film, and it could be whatever you want it to be. So the way I approach my work is a blank canvas. For me, I like to experiment and just treat it just like an art piece, like a painting. And pretty much I go through footage. So for example, on the left here, I have a high 8 footage, and pretty much I scrub through it and just pick good footage that I think that might be a good fit for the final cut. But usually I'll just go back and forth and just maybe switch it up a bit and see what fits into the video. What's important is that while I'm making this video during the shoot, I never thought about the song. The song came in after, during the editing process. So for me, the song is always first, but first I need to know what kind of song would fit in with the shoot. So the fashion story, with the model, most of her outfits were vintage, retro, so I thought, hey, maybe I can pick a retro song. So I picked a song by Luxury Elite. It is copyrighted, so this video is for portfolio purposes only. It's not going to be monetized or anything like that. So I chose that because I've listened to a couple of songs from this artist, and I dig it. And I think if you see my old work or how I tend to make my videos, they are pretty much vintage, retro, old school ish type of videos. So I like my videos like that, so it's truly fitting for that. And also it was also my first time filming with the high 8 video, so bringing this a lot with me. And it's also my dad's camera, so that's special. And I'm not new to filming with high 8. I am a late 80s baby, so I've used it in the past. And what else? So when putting together this video, I wanted to, I guess, keep it simple. You don't have to, I don't go overboard with my timeline. I think if you've seen other creators, you've seen stacks on stacks on stacks on their timeline, and it just looks super crazy, super complicated. For me, just keep it simple. Just choose what you want and just throw it onto your timeline and piece it together. You don't need to go crazy. So if you're starting out, don't be crazy. So for me, some people are neat freaks and that they have to have a clean timeline. That's okay. But for me, it's, like you could do whatever you want. Again, do whatever you want with this timeline, your blank canvas, and, do whatever you want on how you want to piece this together. So a fashion film is, for me, it's, I don't know what to call it. It's art. It's a piece of art. You can even call it abstract if the video doesn't have any meaning or whatever. Some people might not find meaning or a story behind it. So again, like, you can make it whatever you want. It doesn't have to doesn't need a story or anything like that. You could just be whatever you want. You could really focus on what the model is wearing. You can focus on the setting or whatever. It's you'll see bizarre stuff on fashion films, and like, people have different interpretations of videos like this. So you can call it whatever you want. You can interpret the way you want. For me, as an artist, putting this together, like, I didn't have to focus on what other people might think about my video. I focus on how I piece this together. So for me, I think what made this video work well was how this editorial was set up, from the clothes to the makeup, and for me, going to the video, choosing the right song. And also, the other part is about filming footage. I think that's what's important about filming a fashion film, is that when you're out there shooting, you have to film as much as you can. For me, like, sometimes I don't film too much, sometimes I film too much. If you film too much, there's a lot of footage to go through, so that means it's good. You could find the best footage and piece it together on your final cut. If you don't have a lot of footage, you're going to have trouble putting this together, but you might, make things work. So there is another project where I did not take too much footage and was able to put a fashion film together. So that's also one of my favorite videos that I put together, knowing that I didn't have too much footage. And so for this video, it's not too crazy. Again, keep it simple, and that's how you do it. And that's how I do it. So if you're out there wanting to try out video and thinking like the editing process might be too complicated, you don't have to go crazy. So again, do whatever you want and choose the footage. Now, the other thing that I do want to explain is, if you see my videos, they're only cuts. They don't go into some crazy transition. They just go into cuts, and then some, just to blend in with the song. Use simple transition fades, just like that, and then that's it. And then stacking footage on top of each other. That's all I do to make this video my piece. Well, anyways, guys, I hope you guys learned something from this process. I know it doesn't go too in depth in how I maybe even color grade or other things, how I chose to put this video together, but I hope some of this stuff gives you an idea on how I approach my video process. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Hopefully this whole video records, and stay tuned for the next video. I'll be talking about the photos I took from this editorial, and stay tuned. Thanks, guys. And I do have soju, and I've been drinking this, trying to make this video, but